Hello. Can you hear the game? Oh, is it lagging or something? One second. Oh, okay. So, today I'm gonna be playing this game, which is called Sierra Ops. I'm excited. I have no idea what this is. But as you can see, there's some space stuff going on. I should move chat real quick. Oh, the game's loud? One second. Actually, I'll just turn it down in the game settings. That's easier. Okay. Wish there was a master volume or something. Is this good now? Actually, that might be a lot. I'll turn it up a little bit. Hopefully that's fine. Let me know if it's not. Alright. So, I don't know what this is, but let's just find out. Ominous. Okay. Select protagonist. I'll be this dude. He looks kinda like me if I had blonde hair and wore different clothing. But see, he's got the little collar that's somewhat Crux-like. Anyway. The full experience. Well then, yeah. What's the other... Oh, it just makes the game easier. No, we're gonna be a gamer today, so... As with every other day, of course. The master of all games. Back thrusters, check. Junius, that's my name. Interesting. Side thrusters, check. Life support, check. Weapons, check. I know you're new to this, but you're going to have to launch at some point, Junius. If you and Freja hadn't... Wait. I feel like the sound effects are quiet. Is this settings? It's not. Sorry, one second. There we go. Yes, I am the #1 gamer in all of time and space. I traveled to the past, and nothing changed. Any time where there are games, I will be a gamer. Ugh. If you and Freja hadn't. Less talking, more flying. Oh, that's an interesting name. I wonder how you pronounce that. It's probably French. It was definitely my fault, but I didn't jump through half a dozen hoops so you could rant over comms. Tsk. What happened to I can easily beat your records? Don't tell me. You're getting cold feet. Launching. Oh boy. I'm gonna be in space. Oh, this is cool. This looks like To the Moon. So predictable. Just show me the core's start point. Yes, of course, young master, right this way. Says the actual noble. You know I just like messing with you. Okay. WASD. Wait, that's the camera? Okay. Move the camera to the right. Done. Mouse wheel is easier, probably. Right-clicking anywhere on the map. Oh, okay. Well, this is interesting controls. This isn't... well, I will say, in actual space travel, you don't do a lot of right-clicking. It's mostly left-clicking. Anyway, this is pretty simple. Just pass all the markers, manage some turret fire. The turret will be shooting paint, so you won't be in actual danger. But don't blame me if you get a bad grade for being nailed too many times in the core. You do know how to turn, right? Maybe if you didn't talk so much, I'd be done already. This is merely part 1, my friend. The main event has yet to come. Uh-huh. Meet you at the end. Hey, wait. Okay. It won't let me move. Just... I see. Speed up. Oh, cool. Can I just go around this? What am I supposed to do? As long as the walls, these walls? Okay, I think this is what I was supposed to do. Oh wait, I forgot to move the camera. Okay. What does this generator power? Looks like it'll shut off if it takes enough turret hits. Should I try the alternative movement modes to better position myself for luring shots? I should be able to avoid fire as long as the walls remain intact. Or I guess I could just charge through while ignoring everything. That's definitely what I'm gonna do. Okay, movement modes. I don't have time to read that. Strafe, instantly move the ship without turning. Enable side and backwards movement. Okay, whatever. I'll figure it out. That's the last of them, but where is... Hey! Wait, where are you going? Oh wait, where am I going? Why is he deviating from the course? Was there a change of plans? I can't see anything. Oh, I think that was it. Okay. Your valiant efforts have been rewarded. Hostile turrets left active, opportunity missed. Oh, maybe the generator was for the turrets. Interesting. Hazardous environment. Hazardous areas inflict harmful effects to any ship that passes through. Radiation deals damage. Okay. Yeah, this is pretty self-explanatory. Q, E, R, and T. So Q is just move. E is strafe, which was moving like this really slowly. Like backwards. R... Oh, R just turns. It doesn't move. Interesting. Zoom in. I'm supposed to go here. Oh. What the hell is he trying to do by taking me through a radiation field? Guess I'll have to ask after I catch up. This reminds me a little bit of my training. I can probably clear a path by destroying some debris. I'll be fine as long as I stay far away enough. Disengaging weapon safety lock. Ooh, weapons. I like having weapons. Click on a target to select it. Click on it again to focus fire on that target. Oh, that's cool. Except I don't want to get too close. What in hero's name is he doing? Pursue. Okay. My training? Yeah. You know, to be a space pirate. They don't let just anyone do it. Why am I in Lapis? Oh, this is a cutscene. No, stop. Hey, that's not very nice. They're destroying my ship. Great. Genius. Smoke burns my lungs. Can anyone hear me? Is that my voice? Ah, that's right. Surrounded by twisted metal and shattered glass, my hands clawed the crumbling concrete and exposed beams. This rubble. I need to get out of this rubble. Yeah, I can't believe you died already. I reach my loosely wrapped hand outwards, just a bit further. Oh, whole game's over. This is so sad. I reel back in pain. So cloth alone isn't good enough. Using what's left of the singed sleeve, I try to shield my face from the encroaching flames. The smell of burning rubber and flesh is suffocating. Maybe. I stretch my free hand towards the pile of collapsed roof and concrete wall pinning me down. Hang on. This is a Monka-esque moment, so I have to... There we go. If I can nudge that. The flames crawl forward. No, thankfully, this didn't happen in my training. I force myself to breathe despite my drowning lungs. Don't panic. Don't panic. Don't panic. Finally, I manage to shift the balance of the slab ever so slightly off what remains of my lower body. This is my only chance. With what remnants of strength I have left, I dig my raw fingers into the fractured floor and pull. Come on. Come on. Just a bit more. Ah. My exposed arm stings as bits of concrete shower me from above. I curl up as best I can, anticipating the building to collapse. Nothing. Okay, this is seeming a lot less scary, at least. For now. I push up on shaking limbs and lean my head back to look at the floor above me. If that had... No. Don't think about it, genius. My eyes dart across on the horizon, littered with nothing but fire and what remains of the hangar. There has to be a way out. Yeah, okay. There has to be. There has to be. There has to be. Dang it. Help! This is still scary. Only the nearing rumble of spreading fire and twisting metal answer my cry. Is it really going to end like this? I'd assume not, because this game isn't probably this short. Am I really going to die? I'm over here. Fabric, sticky and stained red, clings to my weakening body. It hurts. It hurts. Everything hurts. Someone, please. Help! Glimmering under the fire's glow, thick ruby liquid seeps into the cracking foundation, drawing spindly red lines across the floor. Why did everything go so wrong? All I ever wanted was for these days to continue. Guy slowly dies in space. I mean, that's pretty much the plot of every game if you think about it. Someone, please help me. My vision blurs. The taste of iron in my mouth all but disappears. Finally, the pain subsides. Please. I still... Hey, are you okay? Stay with me. We're going to try to move you. Just... Okay, it'll be fine now, probably. Wake up. Wake up, Junius. Exclamation point. Oh no, it's a Steins Gate character. My eyes snap open at the feeling of paper hitting my face. Frey just stands before me, file in hand, staring with mild disdain. Please choose a more suitable location to retire for the day. Okay, this is really cool. Like, the production value of this visual novel section. The zooming in and zooming out and stuff. The same exasperated tone from 6 months ago, is it? Leaving the dread of the nightmare behind, I get up from my resting spot. I apologize. It seems I closed my eyes for a moment too long, while waiting for you to return. This is what you were looking for, correct? I take a second to flip through the folder. Documents on the engine's power output, detailed schematics on the ERA. This is definitely it. At least she seems to be on top of things. Yes. Thank you. Unless you have other business to attend to, I request that you depart immediately. I must return to my research. Anime scientist's gonna do anime science. I apologize for the intrusion. Thank you again. My eyebrows furrow, my inner thoughts leaking out ever so slightly onto my face. It's not like I came here out of my own leisure. 6 years is a long time. I mean, it's not that long of a time, but whatever. Even if everything prior's been washed blank, we've still been colleagues for the past half-decade. There should be some level of professionalism, shouldn't there? Perhaps it's better we never reconciled. Okay, I'm gonna try and figure out what's going on, using some epic deduction. Okay, so basically, here's my deduction. Freyja and Junius do not like each other. Anyway, If drifting off is enough to bring back memories, then nothing good comes out of us staying together. I nod to myself as I try to ignore the lingering smell of smoke still fresh on my mind. How long is a long time? Well, you know, I'd say 260 years is a long time. It's a long time to be sent into the past. Just from personal experience. I nod to myself as I try to ignore the lingering smell of smoke still fresh on my mind. It's time to leave those days where they belong. It's time to let go. It's time. Is this an Imagine Dragons reference? It's time. It's time to begin. Anyway, I'm not gonna keep going because YouTube bots DMCA. Anyway. It's time. I repeat those words in my mind like a prayer. A crinkling sound interrupts my thoughts. I look down, the folder in my hands bending at an ugly angle. These damn files. I smooth out the graphite and ink-smudged pages. If Doc were just a bit more organized, I wouldn't have needed to go on board to meet Freja in the first place. Hell, what kind of genius leaves critical files undigitalized and lying around when he knew he was going to need them the day after? It's practically a miracle in itself that Freja knew they were there. Or knew where they were. Hell, even if I did conquer the jungle of parts and prototypes and reach the manual and blueprints corner in under 2 hours, it probably would have taken me all day to just find the correct folder. Oops. It's not like he doesn't already digitalize all his work for the archives. Would it be that difficult to do it ahead of time? How we managed to avoid an actual death from falling debris over the last 6 years is beyond me. Yeah, but you've had many figurative deaths from falling debris. Ah! That's probably how this guy talks, right? Ah, Junius, you're back. Dang, color me surprised. I don't know how this guy talks. I'll come up with a voice for him in a second. He did find them on time. Of course he did. The lad knows me like the back of his hand. Slapping me across the shoulder, Doc plucks the files from my waiting hand with a satisfied grin. I swear to the goddess I'm going to actually shake the old man one of these days. As someone who knows you like the back of my hand, Freja was the one who found them. I got stuck behind the shield prototype mountain during hour 1. Did you now? This is also the voice that I imagine Professor Oak and pretty much every video game old man to have, just so you know. Funny, isn't it? Well, I mean... How do you keep managing to do this, Doc? It's not that bad. See a space doctor named Doc? That would be a pretty fitting name. I mean... Yeah. If you were born and you were named Doc, I think you would have to become a space doctor. Or at least some kind of doctor, maybe not a space doctor. But obviously a space doctor schooler. Plus we'll be back on Earth soon. That lab is pretty clean, isn't it? How long do you think the lab here stayed clean on the day we docked? An hour. A single hour. I thought I got lost in a storage room. I didn't even know it was physically possible to cram that many things into one place. Minute details. As long as the work gets done, it's fine. Right, Almond. Sorry, but you're on your own for this one. That lab's a goddess darn nightmare. I can't believe you boys are teaming up on a defenseless old wizard. Oh, he's a space wizard, not a space doctor. Okay. Wizard again. I know I wasn't the best father to you growing up, Junius, but I really am trying my best, so... Okay, there is a lot of exposition going on right now. Space Doctor School is pretty intense. I'd think Space Wizard School is probably even more intense, to be honest. Can you please forgive me? Don't try to weasel out of this, old man. Also, I'm gonna turn the BGM up, unless there isn't any. Because I can't really hear it. There we go. This is what, the 5th similar incident in a month? How many assistants have you gone through this year alone? Fraser never complains. Fraser's fine with living in a cardboard box as long as her research grants are approved. Details. Why are you always so... Anyway, seminar. We should get on that. Codex unlocked. Nobles. Hey, there are nobles on that attendee list, right? We definitely shouldn't slack off. Okay, I'm guessing the codex is like... Yeah, okay. I was gonna say, I'm guessing the codex is like the... whatever it's called, the encyclopedia thing in Steins Gate. And it is exactly like that. Okay. Nobles. The following is an excerpt from Nobility: The History of the Modern Era, 2nd edition, by Yusuf Azrael. While the foundation of the concept of nobility is difficult to pinpoint, many scholars agree that a modern-day understanding of nobles was born from a combination of the rights and honor associated with the 12 noble vanguards and the aristocracy of the Old World. Originally, a title bestowed upon families that have contributed greatly to humanity's recovery, today's few official noble families are often known to hold vast amounts of wealth and resources, commanding the respect of all those they may come in contact with. Despite what some may suggest, not all nobility is the same. Within even the ranks of nobility, there are families that stand above others. Lauded for this status as members of the original 12 noble vanguards, primary nobles, as they are known today, hold vast amounts of power, enough to single-handedly influence society at large. However, it is not unheard of for noble families to fall out of power. Is this Fire Emblem Three Houses? Even within the last 50 years, 3 noble families have disappeared into the annals of history for various reasons. The most recent being the Fabian family, having officially dissolved in 2381. Currently, there are 23 remaining active noble households, of which 7 are primary nobles, who hold various critical roles within modern society. There, that's your space history lesson for the day. Apparently. Except that's not... I almost said canon. It's not canon to real life, because, as you can see, this apparently is taking place after 2381, and yet their spaceships look like Star Wars, but whatever. I promise I'll tidy things up. This week. Next week. We really can't afford an incident during the conference, Doc. I'll make sure to have a warning sign. How about, only the worthy and experienced may traverse here safely. Are you messing with me? I won't think of it, lad. Then how about actually doing something instead of indulging in your wizard roleplay? Oh, so this guy's a LARPer. How many ticking time bombs do you think are scattered around that room? What if something went off while you or Fraser were in there? I'm curious. Is there actually voices in this game? Because I don't think there have been. Anyway. What do actual spaceships look like? I would draw one, but I can't draw, so... Basically, Actual spaceships. How do I describe this? I mean, it doesn't look like a box. It's like actually aerodynamic, you know. And also they have sails. They don't just have like the jet kind of engine, though they do have those also, but actual spaceships from the 23rd century at least usually have at least one very large solar sail. What if something went off while you or Fraser were in there? No need to sweat the small stuff, Junius. I'm the father of modern technology, genius of the century, head of Sigil R&D, Dr. Lomonosov. Oh, so his name's not actually Doc. That's unfortunate. I don't make mistakes. That sounds like something that someone who's about to make a mistake would say, but okay. The same genius of the century that lost important data he procrastinated inputting into the system until the very last day, and then subsequently begged me to find it for him. Yeah, sorry about your spacebox theories. Look, lad, trust your old man, alright? I promise everything and everyone will be fine in the end. I sigh, a dull ache in my chest mirroring the one at the back of my head. Just get it done, alright? Of course! His wrinkled hand ruffles my hair. Despite the mental protest, I can't help the feeling of nostalgia that bubbles up from the familiar act. How many times did I wish for something so insignificant during all those years on Monshire? I don't know where Monshire is. I don't think that's a real planet, but okay. Just for future reference, the things that happen in this game are almost definitely not going to be accurate to real life, and that's okay, because this is a projection of the future. Anyway, first he lies about his name, next he does some nefarious space magic. Yeah. Wonder what kind of space magic this guy's gonna do. Maybe it's best I don't remember. Go ahead and take a break. This won't take very long. Also, if I keep stuttering over my words, it's because I'm hearing my own voice every time I say something, and it's a little bit delayed. So, it's kind of hard to talk, like my cadence is getting interrupted. So just ignore it, please. Anyway. Go ahead and take a break. This won't take very long. I hesitatingly nod as a wave of exhaustion washes over. I doubt I can take many more all-nighters, but I swallow, my mouth dry and tasting of iron. Just sitting down will be fine, right? I drop my haggard body onto the leather theater seat, relishing in the feel of the high-end material sucking me into its loving embrace. They really invested credits into this, didn't they? Nothing but the best for the nobility, I suppose. My head pounds, but I try to relax with what limited comfort I allow myself. Knowing how these nightmares work, I probably shouldn't sleep for the next few hours at least. But why now? Is it really because I saw Freyja, or is the stress just getting to me? Multiple codecs unlocked. Oh boy, we got some more space history. It's not like anyone else in the station is in a better situation. Dealing with the UTV is one thing, but Sigil Corps is eager to snatch up the last of the neutral nobles. The century's greatest technological innovation or not, it's going to take more than a tour of Era explanation of the Lomonosov particle drive to convince families that they've maintained the neutrality for centuries, that have maintained their neutrality for centuries, to finally bow to sigil. Oh boy, politics. This really is Fire Emblem Three Houses. Honestly, it's probably better that they don't join. Sigil Corps already pretty much owns everything. Does the world need them to actually own everything? Isn't Sigil Corps actually the name of the company in To the Moon? I think it is. Or something similar. Maybe I shouldn't be one to talk. Doc was the one who made it possible after all. Whether or not Sigil wants to reclaim some lost glory from the hero era has nothing to do with me. All I need to do is my job. Here. I look down at the dew-covered can on the table in front of me. You know, I'm gonna mess with some stuff on the stream real quick. 1 second. There we go. Okay, I think I am probably not covering up it as badly anymore. Anyway. Flashing me a relaxed smile, the older man drops himself onto the seat adjacent to mine before taking a drink. This is for... Consider it a consolation prize for being stuck with Doc. Ha. He chuckles, the cheeky grin on his face growing wider at my exasperation. Actually, he was Doc's main assistant before Freja took over 6 years ago, wasn't he? Thank you. I appreciate it, Lieutenant Rutherford. This guy, reminds me of someone, but I can't put my finger on who. The orange guy. He looks like a character from something. Sigmund Core, that's what it was. Yeah, thank you. Just Rutherford. The title's too formal for my taste. In that case, thank you, Rutherford. Still the same, eh? Excuse me. Doc used to mention you a lot. I see. Maybe if he spent less time talking about me and more time talking with me, things would I stopped the thought in its tracks. I really have been missing too much sleep. It's pretty nice actually getting to meet you in person for a change. It's almost a bit sad that the project's ending. A bit, yeah. But it was nice working with you, even with Doc's hijinks going on in the background. You know, I think a better way to stream this would be if it was in a frame, rather than me covering part of the screen. I can probably fix that, but it might take a second. So bear with me. Sorry. I'm kind of making a new screen right now. Sorry. Shouldn't take that much longer. Okay. This is chat down here. This is a little scuffed, but that's okay. Hopefully this stream is a high enough resolution to where shrinking the game a little bit, you can still see it. Let me know if you can see it or not. But yeah. We have chat down here. Okay, good enough. Alright. Sorry about that. A bit, yeah. But it was nice working with you, even with Doc's hijinks going on in the background. Right back at you. If we're lucky, maybe we'll end up in a similar post again. Ah, this guy reminds me of someone. I don't know who. Anyway. But a similar post, huh? Opening the can, I take a lengthy gulp. Hero. I didn't know I needed this so badly. Feeling the fog from my brain starting to clear, I consider his words. Honestly, it wouldn't be a bad arrangement. Oh, we never read the codex things. History break. Sigil Corporation. Not to be confused with the Sigmund Corporation. The following was taken off the Wikibase page on Sigil Corporation. Last edited 23rd November 2403 at 1600 Standard Earth Time. Someone from a visual novel? Maybe. I'm not sure. Honestly, I think he kind of reminds me of Atsushi from Tokyo Revengers. But also of someone else. And I can't put my finger on who the second one is. But anyway. Sigil Corporation, formerly known as Sigil Seal Research Institute. Seals? This really is Fire Emblem. Anyway, that's the third time I've said that, so I'm banning myself from referencing Fire Emblem another time in this stream. Anyway. Formerly known as Sigil Seal Research Institute, was founded sometime in the early 2070s by Morgan Rauskels and Sonia Handlers within the Sierra Madre mountain range, name retained from Old World records, in Sector P16-121 of Earth. Sigil Corps holds complete market dominance in almost all sectors, including interplanetary travel, off-world colony development, transportation, mining, agricultural production. The above list has been omitted for the sake of brevity. As of March 14, 2395, the position of the 10th CEO has been passed down to Marcus Handlers, the main branch successor to the primary noble Handlers family. The successor is claimed to support the completion of the remaining Lagrange orbiting colonies, as well as further colonial operations. So I'm guessing Lagrange is the planet. Okay, UTV. The following is an excerpt from Nobility, The History of the Modern Era, 2nd edition. Yeah, we already know. It's the same book as this. Okay. Sounds like a space monopoly. Well, it sure isn't. I was gonna say it sure isn't a space operation, but actually it could probably be described as that also. What's a different board game name? It sure isn't a space the game of life. Perhaps it seems somewhat incredulous to include the United Terran Vanguard in a volume dedicated to the nobility of old. However, with the organization's roots firmly planted in the original 12 noble vanguards, it is difficult to separate its inception with its founders. Originally formed by Lady Irene Falaro and Sir Noah Loris to serve as outfield agents given the arduous task of escorting researchers into the wasteland, the organization grew quickly as the need for law and order increased. Oh, I'm not doing this in the narrator voice, hang on. As humanity left for the stars, so too did the UTV. Even as its upper ranks were increasingly populated by those outside the nobility, true to its noble roots, serving within the UTV is often seen as a glorious and honorable post, with many a noble holding the position of admiral to test their mettle. Eventually, it soon became a tradition for those seeking recognition for their talent and efforts to seek it through serving the people under their line of duty. Evolving into a force for peace, the UTV continues to ensure the safety of those traveling the system from pirates, space pirates, and other nefarious characters even today. Not every pirate is a nefarious character. I'm only a somewhat nefarious character. Anyway, that's enough space history for now. Considering the hellish week I've had, there's no doubt engineering faced something just as bad, if not worse. Yet he looks like he just got back from vacation. He's definitely not slacking off either, considering the majority of reports I get are directly from him. Then again, anyone who can survive being Doc's main assistant for more than a month is probably a genius in their own right. Oh, by the way, just asking again, can you actually see the game? Like, is it in a high enough resolution to where you can read it? Because if it can't be read anyway, then there's not really a point in switching to this screen in the first place. I'm not sure what resolution I'm streaming at right now. Hopefully it's not too bad. Little biased on the morality and legality of space pirates. Morality maybe, but objectively, the legality is fine. Kind of. It's a loophole, but should I explain that? I'll get into it some other time. Ask me about space pirates again later. I narrow my eyes, flipping the dozen or so introductions and unfamiliar faces as I struggle to remember my secondary school days. Ah. Oh, you can read it? Okay, that's good. That's right. I think it was one of those emails Luna made me listen to, wasn't it? I got a new assistant. Such an inconsequential line didn't matter until I met Freja at Damascus Academy a few years later. Pretty much all I knew about her was that her cousin was Doc's assistant. Not that she'd share much more even if I asked. Is it considered lore if it's just history? I guess it's not history. It's future history. I think that can be considered lore, yeah. My brows unconsciously furrow as long-locked memories threaten to surface once more. Hero's will. Why do I keep doing this to myself? Okay, I think hero and hero's will are like expressions. Because otherwise Junius just talks really weird, I don't know. Didn't you want to move on, Junius? Also, I like how there was gameplay at the beginning, and then it's just been a visual novel. I like visual novels, so I'm not complaining. Isn't lingering on this just making it harder? Hey. I turn, the voice snapping me out of my self-admonishment. Have any plans lined up for Earth? Plans? You know, things like seeing family, going for a walk in the forest, visiting the ocean, eating a handmade cake, petting a living cat. A living cat? Why do you have to specify? Go scarf shopping, etc.? Those are oddly specific. Yeah, that's what I'm saying. The team's been cooped up for a bit too long. I see. I was a bit curious about what you had in mind. Last I checked, Doc wasn't assigned any UTV assistance for the Deep Space Project. Wasn't his next assignment finishing the Lagrange colonies? It is, but this is we own everything, but we also want to make a profit corporation we're talking about. No way Sigil's going to let the old man off that easily. Oh wait, did we get new codex things? Yes, okay, cool. Technology. Lagrange colony. Are there any phrases that you use from the future? I mean, not that I know of. I say yar har future har, but that's not actually something people say in the future. That was just kind of a joke that I came up with. Anyway. Lagrange colony. The following is an excerpt from Modern Technology, an aspiring engineer's handbook to space, 2400 by Lara Gellens. When an engineer thinks of space, the first thing that often comes to mind are the engineering marvels of the free-orbiting Lagrange colonies. Each comprised of around 4 to 10 stations of varying sizes, free-orbit colonies house over 14% of all humans alive today. Despite the use of the term Lagrange, each individual colony possesses its own orbital range around Earth, with all new stations belonging to that colony being assembled on site, and holding its relative position in orbit from the start of its construction. While often tethered together by docks and interconnected airlocks, stations often move together as part of a larger unit. Oh, this is like drone. These connections are often fluid, connecting and disconnecting as needed, allowing for greater freedom of stations spread out along the orbital range. To prevent any accidental collisions, in addition to being regulated by MOIL, each individual station is equipped with thrusters to allow for minor position and speed adjustments. Drone is a metal planet, pretty much. Anyway. I haven't ever been there, but it's a pretty cool planet, I think. I want to visit someday. Could just make up future lingo and we'd be none the wiser. That's a good point, I should start doing that. However, the true key to continued success of these self-contained cities, lies in the vector shield and force-generated systems that work to minimize or eliminate the adverse effects on living in space. Vector shield. Okay, well that is just an actual feasible thing. Hang on. Sorry, I was making a note of that for my research if I ever get back to my time. Anyway. Their specific inner workings and importance will be covered in Chapter 4, but it should come as no surprise that upscaling two already power-intensive pieces of technology up to encompass an entire station requires insane amounts of energy. This is where the all-important station energy core comes into play. The rest of this chapter has been omitted for brevity. A metal planet? Well, I mean, yeah. Technically, most planets... I don't know about most, actually. A lot of planets have metal. Earth could be considered a metal planet, kind of. Except that a lot of it is organic, but there's a lot of metal. But I mean, like, by metal planet, I mean a human-made planet. Anyway, a new headache suddenly springs up on top of my existing one. Can't Sigil finish one colony without Doc's input? It's not like he's young anymore. How many more decades are they trying to get out of the old man? If he told me then, I could have filed a complaint at least. You know, for someone who is supposed to be indifferent, he seemed to care a lot. Indifferent? About Doc. He used to go on and on about how his lad didn't love him anymore. Hey, don't worry about it. Believe it or not, that old wizard has recommended more than a few additions to the field recon team over the years. Sigil orders or not, he always keeps an eye out for a number one at the end of the day, if you know what I mean. Worst case scenario, he can always hijack Era and go running off past the asteroid belt. Don't fill the lad's head with strange ideas, Almond. That's a good point. I guess there are some terms that I use from the future after all. Today we discovered some interesting things. Anyway. Don't fill the lad's head with strange ideas, Almond. Almond. You have Almond Rutherford and Dr. I don't remember what his name is. Dr. Lestrange. Neither of those are their names, but that's okay. Sorry. Field recon, huh? Is he even really a wizard? I don't know. Like, I thought he was a wizard, but he hasn't done any nefarious space magic. So maybe he's not. Until he shows me some wizard stuff, I'm not gonna believe him. I'd say he's a LARPer for now. Field recon, huh? Considering how much Doc's wielded his influence for my sake even when we were on bad terms, do I have the right to be surprised? Am I surprised? Am I not surprised? Have I ever known Doc well enough to make a statement like that? Maybe the child me thought I knew him, but no. Heroes will, genius. Would it kill you to not sink into the quagmire every other minute? You literally have to host a conference featuring some of the influential people in the... I'm guessing it's supposed to say most, not just some of the influential people. A conference featuring some of the most influential people in the goddamn world happening tomorrow, and you're getting sad over how you and Doc have a complicated relationship? What the hell is wrong with you? If you want to be sad and anxious about leaving the safe little shell that is Venus, do it on the half-year ride back to Earth. Half a year? From Venus to Earth? I mean, I guess that's fair if they don't have, oh, sorry. I guess that's fair if they don't have, any vector boosting. Which I guess did take a while. Anyway. It took a while to develop and probably wouldn't have been able to have been predicted in a game that was created in current year. Anyway. Mentally slapping myself to stay focused, I sweep away the old scars from sight before turning back to the older man. Stay focused on the here and now. There's no point obsessing over the future. I'll probably visit Damascus Academy and see if there's anything I do about my degree. Depending on how much of a mess Doc made with drawing me, I may need to just flat out complete it.
If you want my opinion, it's not worth the effort if you already have skills to impress. Considering you're the only one who could fly our baby, there's nothing to worry about, is there?
Except that last time I was in a ship, it kind of got blown up, I think. I'm not completely sure if that happened, to be honest. Why inhabit Venus anyway? Yeah, it's not even in the habitable zone. That's actually true. How are they even inhabiting Venus? Anyway. There's more to being a UTV officer than being able to control a ship.
You say that,
But I'm still a lieutenant, aren't I? Sigil recruits go through different channels. Says the guy with the second most powerful backer in the world. It'd make the old man feel better about the whole childhood neglect thing. He can feel bad if he wants, I'd rather not lean on him more than necessary. Fair enough.
plans after the academy stuff?
I'd probably run a UTV patrol route of some sort. With my rank, adjutant of vessel seems likely, but adjutant of squadron is possible if they decide to promote me for my work on Era. There's a chance I could just end up in a stationary post or at HQ or Monshire, but that's up to UTV headquarters. Dreaming big, I see. I can't change the way the UTV handles established rank roles.
And that's why I don't get the point of climbing ranks. Unless your definition of glorious involves pirates. Involves pirates, escort missions, and spending months aboard a sparsely fitted military ship. I don't know, that sounds pretty glorious to me, not gonna lie. There's no reason to go any higher than a cushy seat at base.
It has more to do with the history and honor associated with the role than the actual tasks assigned. And you buy that? Why not just officially join Sigil? You'd actually do something and be able to stay with Doc. It's a win for everyone. Yeah, they said pirates again. What's the pirates counter at? Either 2 or 3? I should actually... Hang on a second. There we go. Pirates counter. Okay. I don't need to join to work with Doc. Yeah, but then there'd be half the paperwork. If you had to pick your next officer and the only differentiating factor was how many forms you had to fill, who would you pick? I don't know, I'm pretty good at paperwork. You really are a piece of work, you know that? I try. Oh boy, choices. Neither of these seem consequential in any way. Do you think you'll miss your team? I think that's a better question. Do you think you'll miss them? Huh? Your team, I mean. Probably not. Really? When you're in my position, people come and go depending on the needs of the project. There's really no point in getting attached to a particular team or person. Doc and Freja excluded, of course. If they're good and I happen to work with them again, great. If not, then I'll deal with whatever hand I get dealt. This guy's weird. You? I don't know. With my schedule, I'll be lucky if I can get one personal conversation in between testing. Quite the candid shot of a workaholic's lifestyle, that line. If I'm bad, then what about Freyja? She's a rank 2 cyborg, she doesn't count. Codex unlocked cyborg. Okay. The following is an excerpt from the Medical Journal of Cybernetics, 18th edition, published 2402. Cyborg rank classification. Augmentation free. Only applies to individuals with 0 augmentations of any kind, including the standard ID and communications chip. Rank 0. Individuals possessing standard augmentations, standard to all civilians of the Terran system, with no other additions, cosmetic or otherwise. Augmentations consist of the standard ID and communications chip. Rank 1. Individuals possessing 1 or more cosmetic or minor augmentations that does not comprise more than 10% of the body by volume. Example, pacemaker, hearing aid. Yeah, space history is always interesting. Rank 2. Individuals possessing 1 or more cosmetic or moderate augmentations that does not comprise more than 50% of the body by volume. Example, cybernetic leg, skeletal reinforcement. Okay, so I guess I'm a rank 1 cyborg then, by this logic. Because, I mean, my eye, and that's it. But that's not standard whatever communications chip, so that means I'm a rank 1 cyborg. Anyway. Rank 3. Individuals possessing 1 or more major augmentations that replace a major vital organ or function of the body, or exceed 50% of the body by volume. Example, cybernetic liver, extensive cybernetic limb replacement. Rank 4. Individuals possessing extensive augmentation that replaces over 2/3 of all major organs and exceeds 90% of the volume by volume. So it's like Atom Smasher. That's a cyberpunk reference. Only 2 rank 4 cyborgs have existed up to the publishing of this journal. Please reference page 596 for the case files. The rest has been omitted for brevity. So wait, why doesn't she count? The candid shot of a workaholic's lifestyle. Oh, okay. I think it's just a figure of speech mostly. Ha. I close my eyes, taking advantage of the lull in conversation to force myself to relax. People come and go. I ignore the dull pang tugging at my heart. No matter how much of a part of me wants to deny it, reality has proven otherwise. If anything, the young me probably would have thrown out the same statement with disdain. Does that mean I've changed? Things are different, aren't they? It was for the better, right? Why can't I be confident in that answer? And done. Looks like break's over. With the remains of my drink finished, I toss the empty can into the recycling and examine Doc's work. Are we set for tomorrow? Well, there is one more thing. We really need to talk about this experimental research arbiter business. What about it? The name sucks. Bruh. Think about it, Junius. Think, Junius, think. Anyway. She's a fine ship designed to showcase the latest technological advances of the century. We can't allow her to have such a cold, lifeless name as ERA. Oh, so ERA stands for Experimental Research Arbiter. Yeah, that is kinda lame. Though the acronym's cool. Cold and lifeless or not, that's the name Sigil handed to us. Unless you have time to file the necessary paperwork and get it approved by tonight. Ta-da! With the press of a button, a new document flashes onto the screen. Renaming of Experimental Research Arbiter Unit approved. I blink, reading the words once more. Yeah, imagine being named Doc. Everyone thinks you're a doctor and you're actually a wizard. That definitely says renaming of Experimental Research Arbiter Unit approved. Doc.
Don't underestimate this old wizard, lad.
How about using your connections on something useful for once?
Don't be silly, Junius.
A name is the focal point of everything. How else are we going to get people to remember her glory? Since when has glory been a factor in anything? A name. How I long for a suitable name. Can you let me name it? That'd be cool. I open my mouth to protest again, but a hand lands on my shoulder before I can get another word out. I still don't trust the wizard. True. Wizards... From my experience with wizards, they usually are secretly evil. To some capacity. I turn, my eyes landing on the engineer standing beside me, a hint of amusement peeking out from his sympathy-filled expression. You're enjoying this, aren't you? I should have known better than to trust someone close with Doc.
We need something with emotion, something with charisma, something with that oomph factor. That's why Almond is here today, to help us brainstorm.
Whoa, no need to give me that look, buddy. I'm here because I needed to hand in some... Oh, I clicked too fast. I needed to hand in some last-minute results. Any participation in renaming is purely coincidental. What experience do you have with wizards? I mean, there aren't really any wizards in real life. I was gonna make up a story, but... You know, I feel like spreading misinformation is probably not a good thing. Maybe. Though it would be funny. There's the old tale of the wizard named John, who's evil. I don't think that tale's been written yet. Oh, my experience is mostly from video games and stories and stuff. It's not actual wizards. But you said it sounded interesting. Maybe I did, maybe I didn't. You know, no sleep, etc. You have to admit, Experimental Research Arbiter has a temp name feel to it, even if she is the ship of the era. Do weirdos just attract other weirdos? Fine, do whatever you want, let's just get this over with. A name. You know, wizards might be real. I just haven't encountered any. How about the Lomonosov supership? That's like 20 times worse. You just like putting your name in front of things, don't you, old man? So harsh. When did my sweet lad get so sour? Moving on. Shielded mining unit? That's even more lifeless. I guess. Sarah. Rejected. I can name at least 5 different things with that name. I thought you said I could do whatever I wanted. Since the paperwork is already there, we may as well do this properly. My suggestions are very proper. All scientists name things after themselves. The summary for the John the Wizard story. Basically, there's this dude who gets sent on a quest through outer space by John the Wizard, except that the details are really vague. And then he turns out to be evil. But I won't spoil it, because you might hear it 100 years or so from now. And some of them name things after celebrities. Just because... Oh, this is genius. I was talking in the doc voice. And some of them name things after celebrities. Just because people do it doesn't mean it's a good idea. How about Sierra? Sierra. You want to name the ship after the international anthem. Humanity's anthem. As with all topics related to the 12 noble vanguards and tales of their heroic feats, Sierra, or what is often known today as humanity's anthem, is shrouded in mystery, despite its position as the cultural keystone of the modern era. Speculated to have been composed by Morgan Roskills himself, the song details humanity's arduous but hopeful path forward, inspiring the hearts of billions over the centuries. While not nearly as prevalent as it was in the past, the inspirational song remains a hallmark of many United Terran Vanguard ceremonies. You just said he was evil? Yeah. John the Wizard? Oh, I guess that is a spoiler though. Oh well. You'll probably forget it by the time the story exists. All stories, all folktales like that are just iterations of the Epic of Gilgamesh. Anyway, you want to name the ship after the international anthem. Why not? It's not like the private sector's lacking any myth-inspired ship names. Why can't Sigil capitalize on their own fame? Sierra, Sierra. Actually, that's not a bad idea. She currently fits the image of crossing to new horizons. Is that far enough away from Sarah for you, Junius? How did this become about skirting past my line of acceptability? I frown, my scalp crawling after hearing that name again after 6 years. Hell, if anything, it's amazing it's taken so long for it to come up. There's only so much I can avoid when Sigil Corps are the ones who love parading around that song in the first place. Ignoring the illogical sense of dread crawling at my insides, I force a neutral expression. It's fine. I have no objections. Sierra it is. Great work. Great work, Alman. I almost read that as great work, Anon. Let me just make some technical sounding acronym and bam. Sigil Interstellar Explorer and Rapid Resourcing Arbiter, here we go. Okay, I guess that is Sierra. Glad we could avoid something Lomonosov branded for once. You boys are determined to break this old wizard's heart today. Consider it revenge for all those times you threw out my transfer request forms. Poof. As if you'd actually finish one. You're right. It's a lot more efficient to steal a ship than join a pirate gang. Oh, iterate the pirate counter. Hang on. I'm actually kind of surprised that this keeps happening. Anyway. There we go. Almond. Kidding. Don't take it so seriously, old wizard. Anyway, I should probably get going. I still need to recalibrate the new sim deck for demos tomorrow. Humph. Just see whether I'm willing to help you. What am I, 5? Even if it's sort of contrived, I'm still the one who retaught Freja. You think I can't figure out her code on my own? Oh, so he's like actually an android. Or cyborg or whatever. Man, I didn't know you were this determined to ruin your saintly image in front of your lad today. Hey Junius, did you know that Doc... Good night, Scan. Night. Good night. The part in Epic of Gilgamesh. I mean, if you think about it, it's the same thing, right? You got... Oh, I didn't mention. The wizard gives the protagonist a robot, and they go along, and they have an epic journey. So basically, the wizard is like, I forgot the name of the god. The main character is like Gilgamesh. The robot is like Enkidu. And the ninja is Ishtar, I guess. Anyway. I raise an eyebrow at the old man. And then the Bull of Heaven is the Dark King or whatever it's called. I'm not going to elaborate more on the story though, but you probably have a good understanding from that. I raise an eyebrow at the old man. What are you hiding? Hiding? Why would I ever need to hide anything? I'm good old Goofy Doc. This man just called himself Goofy. There's nothing to hide. Uh-huh. The ninja? Yeah, don't worry about it. Anyway, your job's done here, so why don't you go to bed early? Don't you need me to go over your script with you? I said nothing about a ninja. Oh. Anyway, don't you need me to go over your script with you? I've been under sigil for 3 decades, lad. I may not be very good at public speaking, but I've done this 1,000 times over. I can practice just fine on my own. Probably. You're really cementing my confidence, Doc. Confidence, schmonfidence. Listen to your old man's advice and get a good night's rest, got it? I chuckle. Despite the smile on my face and the lighthearted mood, my hands subconsciously ball into fists, my palms sweaty at the thought of sleeping. Knees weak, arms are heavy. There's vomit on his garments already. A good night's rest. Is that even a possibility? I focus on my surroundings, trying to root myself in the here and now. I seem to be alright, but if past experience has any say, these flashes usually come in groups. Maybe something else to take my mind off things would be the better choice right now. Something like a simulation. Assuming Rutherford can set something up, at worst, all I'd be losing is an hour of sleep. I doubt basic combat sims will help much, but it's better— oh, I skipped through. It's better than going on blind faith alone. What to do? Oh, it's just asking whether I want to skip the tutorial or not. Well, I'll do the tutorial. A single run through can't hurt, can it? Do you think Rutherford would let me test the simulation deck? Huh? Why the sudden interest? I think it'd help me tame my nerves a little. Don't worry, the first presentation is always the most nerve-wracking. All you have to do is imagine that the entire audience is in their underwear with silly makeup and you'll be fine. Then again, that does make them look like shirtless clowns, and clowns are kind of unsettling in the uncanny valley sort of way. I'll be fine, Doc. Either way, don't stay up too late, or you'll be getting hell from me, lad. Of course. Good night. Good night. I don't need a tutorial. That is true. I am the ultimate gamer. But for the sake of the viewers, so that they can understand what's going on, I feel like I should do a tutorial. Leaving him to his work, I make my way down the hall and through the familiar corridors of the station to its hangar. With a quick glance to check the status of the airlock, I scan the huge warehouse-like space as I behold the crystallization of all our hard work for the 1000th time. Whoa. Sierra. No matter how many times I see her, I'm impressed by something new. Be it her sleek design, or the strength in those massive engines, it's hard to believe that I helped create something this momentous. Sierra? I hardly know her. In a sense, I suppose Doc had a point. Experimental Research Arbiter really isn't a fitting name for something like her. I just hope I can do her the justice she deserves, even if Sigil Corps' motives aren't exactly pure. Humanity's anthem, huh? My thoughts trailing my every step, I pace her under length to the open exterior latch. Press onwards. I guess it's probably supposed to be and press onwards. It doesn't take me too long to spot the open door to engineering. Oh hey, did Doc end up needing me for something? CG. This is a full-on visual novel now, it even has CGs. Anyway, I turn toward the voice, my eyes landing on the striking red hair and flashy hologram. With a single flick of the finger, the floating image retreats back to the console and the man gives me a relaxed smile. No. I only came to see if it would be possible for me to run a simulation or two. Oh? In that case, your timing is pretty good. I was going to head back to test it out. Turns out the enemy generation based on data gathered from sensors is pretty hard to automate. As long as you don't mind some pretty mundane exercises, be my guest. I only barely got the basics working though. Alright. Codex unlocked. Okay then. Have you figured out who he reminds you of? I'm not quite sure. I think it's partially Byakuya Togami from Danganronpa Trigger Happy Havoc. But there's definitely more things also. Anyway. The following message was sent to the 9th Sigil CEO, Kenneth Canis's inbox at 12:48 SET, 6th of March, 2389. Subject line: Venus is super cool. Lomonosov PD. Dear Uncle Ken, it's been 2 months since I've landed at CNDRF, and I thought I would send you another letter about how things have been going. I'm happy to say that the Helium-3 got here mostly unscathed, despite the short notice of the last shipment. Dr. Lomonosov was pretty relieved when it came in. I'm not really sure what I was expecting from a living legend, but he was a lot more serious than I imagined when I saw his photos online. We actually managed to fix the plasma containment issue I mentioned in the last letter. Turns out a vector shield generator works just as well on plasma from a fusion engine as anything else, so everything's back on track. That said, the power output turned out to be a lot higher than we expected. I'll leave the science mumbo jumbo for the official report next month, but it'll definitely be able to handle a vector shield, force generator, and a ship's basic systems. Heck, we could probably power Neo Hampshire's biggest station if we optimized for it. Right now we're focused on redrafting the ship design, with the new specs in mind. I think Dr. Lomonosov's leaning towards a more sleek, recon scouting type, rather than the original Fly Colony Station concept. You'll probably get the details in the report, but I guarantee you'll love them. Thanks again for letting me stay here for over a year. I'm learning something new every day. Your thankful niece, Taylor. Okay. How much sigil is sunk into the entire Lomonosov particle drive project is hard to estimate, but they didn't spare any expense with Sierra's construction. I suppose I should be grateful, shouldn't I? If it weren't for Doc, I never would have seen her in person, let alone be a stand-in captain. A ship to surpass them all. I wouldn't be surprised if she's already spoiled me from effectively using any other vessel of a comparable weight class. But it's hard not to love her after who knows how many people invested their lives into her success. Even if it's just for now, I want to be proud of what we've accomplished. Any consequences can come later. And we're here. It's in Phrase's lab. Phrase's lab? Poof. This was always supposed to be the sim deck. She just camped out here because Doc thought it'd be good for her to be more independent. I see. Anyway, here's the pod. He gestures towards the dome, pushed into the corner. It's more standard issue than I expected. That's what I said after we got this thing in the mail. Why are they so determined to keep up this mining ship facade after everything else we've installed is beyond me? It's a prototype. It's only expected that they'd insist on the best for a proof of concept. Sure, that makes sense, but does a mining ship really need a high-tech combat simulator? Or dedicated energy management for our weapon system? The fact that anyone still buys that excuse is practically a joke. Well, there is that saying about the infinite depths of human stupidity. Yeah, this guy definitely is like Togami. That doesn't change the fact Sierra can't help with the resource problem. A Martian sympathizer, huh? Maybe I should report you to Sigil PR and have them give you their standard "why we're right" speech. Please, I've had enough of that from the supervisor. Much garbage as there is, you need to be careful with the whole new show of no confidence thing. Doc's protection or not, considering how we run Sigil, Handlers doesn't seem like the forgiving sort. Before you decide to play with fire, give it some thought, for both your sakes. I'd rather not see the old man heartbroken, or something as intangible as ideals. Anyway, enough of the serious stuff. Let's get started. I nod, ignoring the long-forgotten voice calling out in my memories. Things can change. What would he say at a moment like this? Would he insist on standing firm with his beliefs? Would he say whatever consequences are small, in comparison of what we stand to gain? I try to conjure up his lecturing tone, an indignant expression from the depths of my memories, only to draw blank. Is 6 years a long or short time to forget someone? I definitely haven't forgotten that day, despite my attempts otherwise. Maybe it's all a part of getting over what happened. It's been a long time since I've woken up screaming, at least. Or maybe I just don't want to remember his annoying mug. I internally smirk, feeling like I'd finally won in some way. And the protag is pretty emo. It's like, ever since that day, 6 years ago. It will probably make sense when we know what happened on that day, though. As much as I'd like to stick around, bed's sounding more and more tempting. Think I can just leave you here and close shop once the sim's over? That's fine. Thanks for your help, Rutherford. I should be the one thanking you for saving me an hour of sleep. Good night. Good night. He sends me one last casual wave before switching the simulation on and leaving me alone in the room. Of all days for me to reminisce, it had to be this one. I breathe out a sigh, my quiet voice seeming to resonate ever so softly within the cluttered room as I step into the pod. Focusing on the emerging environment in front of me, I push myself to forget the world outside the simulation. Let's get down to business. Shall we? Oh, it's Freyja again. Welcome to Air's onboard battle simulation matrix. Lieutenant Commander Junius Fahrenheit. You have selected the simulation module, Combat Basics. Would you like to proceed? Freyja. Invalid command. Please try again. Tss. Proceed. Understood. Please confirm that the vector shields are in working order. Yeah, exactly. Finally, the tutorial. It's been 27 years. Alright. Vector shield. Generating spaceborne projectiles. Please eliminate all incoming targets. Projectiles, as in debris? Invalid command. Please try again. I can't move. Maybe I'm just moving very slowly. There's no targets anywhere. Oh. I just genuinely wasn't moving. Rapidly allocate energy. I don't know what's going on. Oh, I see. Okay. Command mode allows the player to pause the battle temporarily to execute commands. Open weapon group 2. Deactivate command mode. What? Gauge the situation Gauge the situation first before making a move. Use command mode to look at what's going on at a slowed perspective. Organize your arsenal to deal with specific targets. Okay, so this is going to be a lot of stuff all at once. Manage your energy consumption. Strategically position your squad units. I have more units? Save your trump cards until they are needed. Which is... what? Use the ship's abilities. Oh, the ship has abilities. Okay. Okay. This sure is slow. Let's just... This was a dumb idea. No, it was a good idea, it's fine. We got thrust speed for days. Ah! Okay. That worked, I think. Thank you for using Era's onboard battle simulation matrix. Mission complete. Rating A.
For any bugs, errors, or concerns, please contact Lieutenant Alman Rutherford in engineering. Have a nice evening.
Oh, voice acting. That was cool. There's a little bit of voice acting. Hopefully you could hear that. I don't know if my volume is loud enough. You know, I'll turn up just the voice volume. Because then they'll just talk and I'll talk and it just makes sense. Anyway. I stand up and signal the system to shut down through my tablet, cold sweat pooling at my brow. Why Freyja? Why can't I focus on how surreal it was to fly Sierra into battle? Why can't I just have one peaceful night where I'm more concerned about tomorrow than what happened 6 years ago? Why does it always have to be Freyja? I touch the simulation pod, a complex feeling welling in my chest. Even if the avatar is her current appearance, the way she spoke is definitely. I inhale sharply, the smell of new plastic anchoring me to the present. Enough already. I've already accepted that this is how things are now, haven't I? What point is there lingering on the issue for over half a decade? Even if I regret it, there's nothing I can do about things I've already done. Why is it so difficult to let go? Getting over it with Bennett Foddy. Well, what is this? I mean, I guess I'd click on here. Options. Can I save or something? Logs. Help. Oh, I didn't need that. Data, probably. Yeah, okay. Epic stream. I have a better idea. Subscribe. Are you sure? Saving subscribe. Yes, I'm sure. What happened 6 years ago, I wonder? Yeah, I don't know. Wait, what just makes sense? Why are we not seeing any space magic? That's a good point. A fuzzy figure stops in front of me. Flashes me his usual irritatingly perfect smile as his eyes practically spell out how amusing this whole situation is to him. My frown deepens on reflex. Come to lose again. Oh, I wonder if what happened 6 years ago was the beginning of the game, where I died for some reason. He laughs, setting down the tablet tucked under his arm. Don't count your chickens before they've hatched. Skyrocketing but downward. I mean, there's no definitive directions like up and down in space, so you can skyrocket in any direction if you think about it. You'll always be headed towards the sky of some planet. I see someone's been digging around the archives. It's not going to help, you know. Neither is trying to ambush me. He quirks his brow, an obvious arrogance surfacing on his highly punchable face. I roll my eyes, ignoring the blatant provocation. Are we playing or not? Wait, you seriously broke in for a rematch? I was joking, you know. You and Frazier have gotten into my room for less. That's because you'd never let us in otherwise. I would have given you the passcode if you asked. He's not wrong. If I had it my way, we would have never gotten acquainted in the first place. It wouldn't be the first time someone has tried to befriend me for the sake of mooching benefits off Lomonosov. Yet I can't seem to keep a straight face whenever the two of them barge into the bubble I've painstakingly built around myself. Maybe they've infected me with some strange disease, or slipped me some obscure poison when I wasn't paying attention. There's no way I'd enjoy the company of two stalkers otherwise. We're friends, right? I sneer, my eyes refusing to leave the holographic chessboard before me. Who'd want to be friends with you? I clawed the cracks, sprawling across the paved floor, in a vain attempt to escape. It hurts. Everything hurts. Junius! Why? Why today? Why us? Why? Why? I smooth out the wrinkles of my uniform while snacking on whatever I can find between reading morning reports. So yeah, I think that pretty much confirms that the part at the beginning is what happened 6 years ago. Despite the pounding at the back of my head, I try my hardest to focus on the words in front of me. Since when have the morning reports been this long? Shouldn't we have sorted all this out last night? Heroes will. It's almost like I'm back at the academy all over again. I massage my temple in the hopes of relieving some tension. To think one little glance at the past would send it all cascading back. Why did I ever think a few years would be enough to forget everything? I'm never going to be free of this nightmare, am I? My thoughts scatter like blown dust at the sound of a door knock. Goddess, don't tell me something's wrong with this last minute. I take a deep breath. It's fine, I can deal with this. I've been dealing with it for the last 6 years. Today is no different. Standing up, I drink the rest of my coffee and open the door. Good morning, Commander Fahrenheit. I've been instructed by Dr. Lomonosov to deliver an emergency message. Heroes will, Doc. What did you get yourself into this time? May I ask what the message entails? I was only informed of its importance, sir. Trying not to show the building worry on my face, I smoothly accept the tablet and scan over the document. Okay. A list of attendees. What's it say? Cullen Henry. Barn Freeman. I guess it'll probably let me read it. My eyes narrow as I eye the register of names. So, Mr. Sigil Corps CEO will be making a personal appearance this time. This is Marcus Handlers. After investing obscene amounts of cash and demanding weekly reports, it'd be strange if he didn't make an appearance, after inviting practically half the nobility. But that's not exactly emergency report worthy, is it? Eyes falling onto the UTV section. My heart jumps. I sigh, under my breath. Sigh. Dang it, of course the nosy dude would be here as well. Is this why Doc sent me this? Was he trying to warn me so I could prepare? I scroll to the bottom of the page. A small indicator flashes, informing me that someone had left a note specifically for my ID. Steeling myself for even more bad news, I open the message. I thought I'd send you a wake-up call, lad. There's nothing like seeing a cute girl in the morning to get the blood pumping. Doc. Well, that definitely had the intended result. Anger always was easier to deal with than anxiety. Transferring the file onto my tablet, I hand the device back to the petite woman. I'm sorry for the trouble Dr. Lomonosov caused you. And sign Clain de Lune. Clain? Not like... Oh, okay. And sign Clain de Lune. It's like one letter off from the famous song / Danganronpa reference. Yeah, no big deal, just the CEO of the universe. Anyway. While it was a definite surprise to be asked personally by the famed Dr. Lomonosov, I am honored to assist in whatever way I can, despite my low rank and lack of relation to the project. I'm sorry nonetheless, the doctor can be a bit erratic. Aren't we all in some manner? I suppose there's some merit to that statement. Please excuse me if this is somewhat inappropriate considering the timing, but is the 100-year ship as grand as it sounds? Yeah, maybe she's the person with the French name from earlier. Yeah, I think it's supposed to be similar to Claire de Lune. It's just one letter off. Anyway. After the announcement that her name was being changed to that of humanity's anthem, I couldn't help but wonder whether or not all the speculation was true. Speculation? Ah yes. Prior to leaving HQ, quite a few around the office were speculating that the Lomonosov project would cut the need to source the Martian resources by half. Codex? Mars. Is this? I don't know if I just got both of them, but... Okay. Yusuf Azrael again. Although several large structures that could be considered colonies dot the red planet, their functional purpose as mining points do not warrant much individual discussion outside of the greater context of Mars, despite their high individual populations. Perhaps the sole true point of interest on Mars lies within Helios City, or rather, the original colony of Helios 1, officially established in 2094 to address the Earth resource crisis. The colony has continued to function as Mars's major trading port since then. Much of its fame can be attributed to the Hephaestus space elevator. The Hephaestus space elevator that makes the transport of raw materials into space far more cost efficient compared to any other technology available at the time. Is this like Cowboy Bebop reference? Today, Mars still largely remains a desolate and barren planet. After 300 years of human habitation, much of the focus has been put on increasing the efficiency of harvesting and processing raw materials, with the inclusion of worker exoframes starting sometime in the 2150s, resulting in a 400% increase in materials transported between the two planets over the course of the last 2 centuries. While attempts to terraform the planet have been made, with the main efforts focused on revitalizing Earth, it's unlikely Mars will be green anytime soon, with the looming issues of a frozen planet core preventing the existence of a natural magnetic field. VGX001CR. Oh, this is really long. Brevity. What do you mean brevity? This is not brief. Okay, whatever. I'm gonna read this as fast as I can. Alright. Following the delay of the unveiling of Sigil's secretive Project Lomonosov 3 earlier last year, new information has finally surfaced all the way from Venus's isolated research station, CNRDF. Most details have yet to be confirmed by the company, but are believed to be largely accurate according to leak sources. 1. The centerpiece of the project is a mid to large size spaceship ranging somewhere from 350 meters to 450 meters long. 2. It's powered by the mysterious Lomonosov particle drive. Oh, that sounds similar to a laser boosted vector engine, but the difference, I guess, is that it's actually really slow, as we saw from the simulation earlier. Anyway. 3. It can maintain functionality for potentially 100 years without needing to refuel. 4. It may be able to sustain both a vector shield and force generators, allowing for similar living standards to that of a free-orbiting colony station while being a fully operational ship. 5. It's fully equipped with state-of-the-art mining equipment and expansive storage, allowing for potential easy access to the asteroid belt past Mars. 6. It was a collaborative effort with the UTV. 7. It actually exceeds agility and speed benchmarks set by the similar-sized ships of all types. 8. It will likely be the first ship to belong to the X-type designation exclusively created for experimental projects. 9. Highly experimental AI was employed to allow for the greatest amount of automation possible, lowering the crew requirement to less than half of what is usually needed for a similar-sized ship. 10. Prototyping the ship has cost over 1 trillion credits, well exceeding the original estimates of 500 billion credits. Reportedly, the concept... One second. Reportedly, the concept of a ship powered by the Lomonosov particle drive started somewhere in the 2380s, following progress on the Lomonosov particle drive teased last year. Whether or not this means Sigil Corps will be rolling out a new range of ships or employing the technology elsewhere is unknown, but if company history is anything to go by, we're likely to see some iteration released in the next half-decade. The conference will take place at CNRDF on the 15th of July next year. The speed of travel in spacecrafts? Yeah, that's my whole research. I don't know if I made this very clear in my first stream, but my ultimate goal in life is to create instantaneous space travel, to invent instantaneous space travel, which is, of course, the fastest possible. And that's because even with our great technology like laser boosted vector engines, it's still, if I wanted to go from Earth to, let's say, Tea Garden, or to Wolf or something, it would take me between 3 to 4 weeks. I don't know off the top of my head, I'm not gonna do the calculation, but even with our current, like, let's say I wanted to take or actually it would take much longer than that. Let's go with Tribute. Tribute's closer. So if I wanted to go to Tribute, it would probably take me about 3 weeks. But let's say I wanted to go there on vacation for a week or something. I wouldn't be able to, because it takes pretty much 2 months for just the trip there and back, which is still very fast. Like, we are talking traveling faster than the speed of light by a significant amount. And yet, that's the thing that plagues humanity forever, is just, we're too slow. The fact that traveling takes time. Anyway, I'm not gonna go on this whole rant right now. But just know that my ultimate goal is always faster space travel. So this is like a personal matter to me. Anyway. Ah yes, prior to leaving HQ, quite a few around the office were speculating that the Lomonosov project would cut the need to source Martian resources by half. Considering how disproportionately expansive the budget for the project is, despite the stained Martian-Terran relations, I'd hoped for a little more. Yes. At first I thought that perhaps we built an entire fleet at Venus, but for that much expectation to be riding on a single deep space mining ship, no matter how grand, I can't help but worry. How are the riots? They appeared to be slowing down 6 months ago. As for the current situation, I'm afraid I have yet to have the chance to check the news prior to talking. I see. The young woman looks up at me for an answer, something about her eyes picking at my conscience. So we're back here yet again. Travel a couple 100 years too fast. Hey, you're a couple 100 years too soon to make that joke. Whatever. I'll get back at some point. For now, I'm just gaming. Anyway. So we're back here yet again. I suppose it only makes sense that this topic would come up more often now that the struggle to finish the project is over. Even if Rutherford finds the notion completely ridiculous, I'm not so sure. Despite whatever mental gymnastics I perform, there's no doubt that the rumors of Sierra being a mining ship only in name aren't false. Her potential, however, is still real. No matter what Sigil originally hoped to accomplish, there is no mistaking what we've created, and prove the technology works on an individual scale. While this definitely wasn't the most efficient or the fastest way to address the Martian labor crisis, it's more of a solution than just trying to appease the Martians with yet another colony. Before you decide to play with fire, give it some thought, for both your sakes. Some thought, is it? Maybe I'm just fooling myself. Even then, I want to believe the impact we've made is a positive one. Too many people have dedicated their lives for it to be anything else. I try my best not to let conflict appear on my face as I watch the young woman's reaction to my hesitation. This is definitely not the best time for a discussion, but parenting the supervisors isn't something I'm willing to do. So I guess that leaves two options. I think it's better to just be honest, probably. Actually, yeah. While I'm uncertain regarding the specifics of what you have heard, I'm afraid the situation is rather complex. Sierra has met all the goals laid out for her, but the method in which the technology will be deployed has yet to be determined by Sigil Command and the Admiralty Board. Even assuming the cost could be brought down, an efficient mining protocol could be employed. Whether or not this will ultimately result in solving, or further worsening, of the conditions on Mars is still impossible to predict. I suppose all we can do, really, is hope for the best. I see. Sorry to disappoint you. No, I appreciate the honesty. I can't say that I'm particularly surprised, however. If you would like to discuss it further, I'm sure I could find some time after today's talks. No. This is more than I'd hoped for already. Thank you for taking the time to indulge me in my selfishness, sir. Klein. Ash, were you looking for me? The tall UTV officer nods. I'm sorry for leaving so abruptly. Dr. Lomonosov requested that I deliver a confidential emergency message to Commander Fahrenheit as soon as possible. I see. Oh, this is my acquaintance. Lieutenant Commander Ashton McCarthy, sir. Just Lieutenant. Yes, of course. A demotion? Isn't that just reserved for admirals? He doesn't look related to nobility either. Why go through the trouble instead of just outright dismissing the person in the first place if the aim was to strip power? Could it be a punishment? In today's UTV? I see. While I would like to continue this conversation, I'm afraid I must leave for the seminar hall. It was good to have been acquainted with the two of you. Of course. We should be leaving as well. It was great speaking with you, sir. With an energetic salute, and McCarthy at her heel, she turns around and rejoins the flurry of activity surrounding the station. It doesn't take long before I lose sight of their figures completely. Could that have been considered a normal conversation? I close my eyes, replaying each line in my head. It seemed normal enough. Maybe the last 6 years weren't a waste after all. Holding back a sigh, I grab my note and start retracing my steps from yesterday. Let's see. Today's the official announcement. Tomorrow, Doc will give an in-depth introduction about the particle while I handle the ship systems. After that, I'll be in charge of holding tours through the next 3 weeks, while major staff gives talks about the station and key features. If everything goes well, I'll be flying half the guests and 2/3 of the staff back to Earth on Sierra by the end of the month. I'd like to avoid having to put on airs around nobles for half a year in the first place. But it's been good motivation for practicing being amicable, even though I'm not feeling particularly up to it. Old habits die hard after all. Taking a deep breath, I refocus myself. Yes, it should be fine. Everything has been meticulously planned out. Oh yeah, the deep voice space wizard. The deep voice space lieutenant. Formerly lieutenant commander. Anyway. Even if something goes wrong, we have fail-safes in place. As long as I can keep my wits about me, everything will be fine. Everything will be fine. Carefully avoiding the buzz of the crowd outside the seminar hall, I enter through the back door. Despite Doc's blinding smile, all I can feel is my mood dropping. Junius, there you are. Did you get my surprise? If you're so eager to look at cute girls, why don't you go ahead and program yourself an AI girlfriend, you perverted old man? Perverted? You misunderstood me, lad. Seeing a cute young lady like Miss DeLune would brighten anyone's day. As much as I'd like to debate the logistics of seeing cute girls, I'd like to remind you of the crowd with a net worth of over trillions, standing outside that door. Actually, you'd have a clearer picture than I do, right, Dr. Emergency Message? Would it really kill you to be serious this one time, Doc? This isn't just about you and me. For everyone's sake, we can't afford to screw this up. I'm sorry, I just wanted to help you relax. Why does it always feel like I'm bullying the old man? Let's just get back on topic, alright? And thank you for the list. Even if I don't strictly need it, it's good to get prior warning. Prior warning? I see you're still full of energy as always, Alex. That's definitely this guy's voice. Ah, Howard. It's great to see you. I didn't think you were coming. With how long you've been gone, I wouldn't miss this for the world. I internally grimace. What was that old world idiom? Speak of the devil? Admiral Peterson. At ease, Commander Fahrenheit. I am here to greet an old friend, nothing more. Understood, sir. Something akin to sadness flashes momentarily in his eyes as I salute him. Was it too much to ask that I didn't see him? Come, sit. I bet you're tired from flying BK for half a year. Now you get to see what BK is. Berkelium. The inscription was taken from a plaque within the Berkelium exhibit at the Roscoe's Museum of History, located on Earth. Doc would definitely... No, Doc probably invented the blockchain, to be honest. Just so that he could have an NFT girlfriend. At over 800 meters long, Berkelium, often abbreviated to BK, was built in 2093 as humanity's beacon of hope after the loss of the Somnium the year prior. Acting as a ferry, Berkelium made 2 trips back and forth between Mars and Earth during her first year of operation, transporting both key personnel and equipment to the budding colony site. Oh, so it's like the Mayflower, kind of, except it's not going nearly as far. That year almost matches too. That's interesting. They predicted the future. A little bit. Despite her crude construction under extreme time and resource constraints, Berkelium remains functional today as the sole interplanetary vessel designed to transport people and vessels between planets at speeds expected of modern ships. Equipped with extraordinarily dense plating, specially shielded engines, and an internal ship maintenance dock to combat the hazards of long-distance space travel, Berkelium continues to make trips between Earth, Mars, and Venus today. Cool. You know better than I do. Wait. You know better than I do how little I actually do, Alex. I already forgot what his voice was. No AI is going to keep the whippersnappers in line. I hope not, otherwise I wouldn't have a job. It was something like that, I think. Looks like Doc's message wasn't a warning after all. I shake my head at myself. As if a scatterbrain would think things do that much. Perhaps it's my fault for not considering the situation adequately. It's not exactly rocket science that Peterson would make a beeline for his old friend right after docking affairs. Goosebumps running down my skin as the familiar sensation of being watched. I shift a meaningless step back to try and inch out of his field of view. At least have the guts to stare right at me, instead of sneaking glances. It'd be easier to deal with than this. Hey Junius, why don't you go distribute the handouts on the desks while I chat with Howard for a bit? That doesn't sound as enough. Okay. Hey Junius, why don't you distribute the handouts on the desks while I chat with Howard for a bit? Understood. Thank the hero. It's not much, but I can't work with this. Taking the large stack of papers, I quickly climbed the auditorium steps. If there was ever a time I appreciated analog, it would be now. It's just too bad the room was designed to amplify sound. That boy still despises me. No, he doesn't. Give the lad time. He'll come around eventually. We've been at this for practically 2 decades, Alex. He'd had a lot on his mind. This is so difficult switching back and forth between these two voices. You know how difficult that age is. Maybe, but he hasn't budged the slightest since we met. If I hadn't been a coward back then. Coward? Please, if you're a coward, then I'm a mouse. I made up with him, didn't I? Why can't you? I'm not the one who watched him grow up. And you think I did? Maybe I've clocked more hours, but he's already spent the majority of his life alone. Even if it's a bit late, and even if we're a little forceful, he deserves to feel like he has somewhere he belongs. That's never been my place, Alex. Who's saying it isn't? I. Even the way you two doubt this old wizard's words is similar. You're too old to still be calling yourself that. Don't be silly. Being old is why I'm one in the first place.
Peterson laughs, his thunderous voice ringing in my eardrums. Another change, you hear me? I wouldn't even if you asked. The volume of their voices dropping in accordance with the change in topic, I finally feel my nerves relax to some degree. Quite the crafty old man, isn't he? It's almost enough to make me question whether or not that goofball persona is a deliberate act. Should I applaud him for being subtle with his methods, or criticize for trying to manipulate me with pity and guilt? Sorry if it's disappointing, but I'm not as kind as you think I am, Doc. That nosy jerk took his path and I took mine. There's nothing else to it. Admiral of Fleet or not, I'm not obligated to accept him with open arms. With the papers distributed, I follow the curve of the aisle down towards the stage, despite the voice in the back of my head telling me to escape while I can. This seems like a decent place to stop for today. Are you sure? Saving subscribe? Yes, I'm sure about saving subscribe. Just a space scientist and full-time wizard wannabe. True. He's almost a wizard, though. This is the prologue? This is gonna be a really long game. You know, I'll probably just stream this again on Monday then. I think that would be a good idea. Because for now, this has been longer than I even intended it to be honest. So, but this game's really cool. Sierra Ops. Anyway. So. Oh, thank you. I'll need to work some things out because, well, yeah. Basically, I wasn't expecting the stream to be this long. So I might have to reorganize some things. But that's okay. Goodbye, thanks for coming. Yeah, I'll end the stream here. So, till our paths align again in the stars, this has been your captain. Solarwynd out.